So, as I was saying, um, they were like, okay, so you'd go for it if you liked the guy. I'm like, of course. If I found him attractive, I would go for it. And they're like, all right. Little did I know, these people were praying for me. And besides that, God was already calling me. And I had a girlfriend at the time. Very beautiful girl. Very beautiful. Everything I ever wanted, she had. And so I'm thinking this is it. Even my coworker who was Christian is like, damn, she looked good. And I would just look at him and it was pretty funny. But little by little, feelings and things inside me started to move. I was on the bus and I would start noticing guys. I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? Like I was really confused and disturbed by that. And then in volleyball, I used to not with the team, but in my college I would play volleyball as a class. And I started noticing this one guy, and he didn't come often. But I started noticing him, and I was like, damn, he's cute. And I started noticing, I started getting butterflies. And I'm like, what in the twist is going on? Like, I was just really like, this is exactly what I felt. I felt that I was a lesbian. Like, I knew that I was a lesbian. So just at the time, feeling these things that weren't of me, anyway. It felt right, but I'm like, this is not supposed to be right. What's going on? Like, it took me so long for me to figure out who I am, because in my head, I'm like, everybody knows who they are. No, not true. I was just like, what the hell? Like, this isn't cool. And it's almost like everything inside me was trying to hold on to my lifestyle, just because I'm like, no, God, like, I finally found love. Like, you cannot do this to me. But it was an inside rant, just because I always had a fear for God. Like, almost in the way I could describe it then, because now I really do have legit fear and love for my God, because I love him and respect him. At the time, it was almost as, oh, I can't disrespect God. That's just holy. I can't talk about it. It's respected. And then I almost thought about it as, when people say, do you believe a God exists? I'm like, there has to be a God. I don't think that everything is the way it is because of a cosmic explosion. Like, I don't believe that. I believe that someone really did create this perfectly. And, when that started happening, I really started struggling in my head, but I still had love for my girlfriend. But I didn't love her yet. I just felt, I really like this girl, and there's no way I'm going to quit this relationship. So one day I'm with her in Thanksgiving. I spent Thanksgiving with her, not my family. She says, I love you. I didn't know what to tell her. In that moment, I heard God speak. And now I know it's God, because he showed me that. But he's like, you're never going to love this girl. Like, ever. This is it. And I freaked out. I left. I didn't tell her anything. I didn't even want to call her. And I told her, like, the next day, you know what? Yeah, I do love you. I was just stuck. I don't know how to open up. And trust me, I was crafty with my words. Anyway. I started really struggling with that. I'm like, I'm never going to love her. And I feel, for some reason, that I'm never going to love a girl again. And I don't know why. This is something that has been with me since the beginning. That I've loved girls and liked them. And all of a sudden, this is getting stripped away. I didn't get it. And I didn't know it was God. I was just like, am I going crazy? Am I losing my mind? It was really deep. And it shouldn't have been. But just the fact, I think it's hard for anybody to admit that they care what people think. Because when you're very involved in the world, it's like if you go partying every night and then all of a sudden you're telling your friends, I'm going to Bible study the next day, you're going to get a reaction out of that. And with me, I was really like, I finally found who I am. I'm being accepted this way because everybody accepts, homosexuality open-heartedly now. I was just like, where am I going to go with this? And one day I went to work. Remember, I worked with a bunch of Christians. And I was just, we had a rush. So at that point, it slowed down, but I was making pretzels trying to catch up. So when the next rush comes, we're prepared. one of my coworkers tells me, "You're lying about something." And all this, I was thinking about it every day. Just about the whole, I'm starting to like men somehow, somewhere, out of nowhere. And I'm like, "What are you talking about, stupid? I didn't even say anything." Like, what are you saying? He's like, he's like, "You're lying about something." And one of my other coworkers, her name is Phoebe, she was like, "Ooh, someone's lying in their head." And at that point, I just like, if it was possible for me to poop on my, like, or pee on myself at that point out of like shock, like, I think it would have happened, but it didn't somewhere, somehow. And I was just like, what witchcraft are these people doing? Like, I didn't even think God could do something like that. But, the Holy Spirit, when you begin to understand Him as much as you can, by your human capability, because no one could fully understand God. God could do anything. But I didn't understand it, so I was like, this is witchcraft. I called it what it wasn't, And after I quit, I ended up quitting that job because they were giving me lousy hours, and also I didn't want to be with these people anymore. I quit, and then 1 week it became very unbearable. Like, God was literally telling me, you need to stop playing around. Like, this is enough. And He bent me so far back. Like, He tested me to where, do you want to keep living this, or do you want to hold on to it so bad when it's no longer in you? When I took this away, are you willing to lose it all? And are you willing to keep this lifestyle that is not good for you, just so you could say that you're still homosexual and God can't do this? Eventually, it took a month after, for me to even come out and say I wasn't. When I broke up with my girlfriend, I told her, you know what, I just don't love you. And I gave her half truth, like I told her that, and then I'm like, I just can't love you, and she cussed me out, whatever. And I was very embarrassed to say why I'm not a homosexual anymore, and so forth. But I was even saying it was a phase. Like, I really dared to go that low with it. But, eventually God opened doors. I went to church, and the moment I went to church, because I'm like, I need to find God already. Like, this is enough. I went. I heard the message I needed to hear. It was about identity and how God from the beginning formed us in His image. And, the moment that Adam and Eve sinned, we were cursed. So sin became alive. So if the devil knows your weakness is women, he's going to give you women. If he knows your weakness is sex, he's going to give you sex. If he knows your weakness is drugs, he's going to give you drugs. Because there's not one fight where someone notices your weak side is your left and they're just going to ignore it because they're like, oh, I want to be fair. To win this fight, I want to be fair. No. It really is a spiritual battle for your soul. And you got to choose now who you're going to be aligned, you're going to be loyal to. You could only serve one master, not two. From there, God just transformed my life, and it took a year. It took a lot of work, because you have to admit you're wrong, and a lot of us don't like to do that. But God is real, and God is just waiting for you to come home. And this is my testimony. It took a lot for me to share this. I look ratchet right now. I'm supposed to take a shower, TMI, but this is my testimony. And if I'm not telling the truth, I don't want to be part of God's plan. So I'm going to tell the truth, and I want to be a part of God's plan. This is my testimony. And if you don't agree with how God transformed my life, then you shouldn't be my friend. But I will pray for you. You're entitled to your opinion. But there is one God. And if you really want to know Him instead of questioning Him, because He will show you all things in due time, you got to seek Him first. And I'm out.